show from when they were kids. They've got some cheap recording equipment and spare time. No one will ever listen to this show, but they're gonna record it anyway. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Good morning or afternoon or whatever it is where you are. This is the Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger podcast. We've got a very special episode for you today, but before we start, I would very much like to tell you that you can find us at www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. We're at RangerDcast on Twitter. You can send us an email at rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com, and we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter.
iTunes.
Damn it! Alright, anyway, we're just going to keep moving. As I said, a very special episode today. We are starting the first in a 5-part series of podcast episodes because we're about to start a 5-part series of Power Ranger episodes, which would be Green with Evil. So if you know your Power Rangers, you know this is kind of a huge deal, a big thing. It introduces the longest running character in the Power Rangers mythos.
Other than Bulk and Skull.
And I think it's very fondly looked back on by most Power Ranger fans.
Agree.
Now, we wanted to make a big thing of this, so it's not going to be a regular episode. We've got a round table, although it's actually a rectangle.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a round table. What do you want?
You've let us down. Anyway, so instead of having one guest, we have four. We have 4 returning guests to the show. We have Ashley returning. Hello, Ashley.
Hi.
Wait.
We were going to do alphabetical order.
Amanda.
You missed
and before
We did
us.
a whole thing.
Listen,
They both start with A. Okay?
it's early. It's fine.
Anyway,
It's not that bad.
Ashley's here. Hello, Ashley.
Hi.
Amanda is here. Hello,
Hello.
Amanda. Lauren, welcome back.
Hey.
And Tim.
Yo!
Yo! Alright, so there's and Michael, of course.
Hello.
My co-host is here.
Yep.
And we're ready to watch this episode.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about anything before we start, or are we just going to get right into it?
I think this is exciting. We should just leap into it. Now, has anyone here seen these episodes before that they know of?
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, not that I can recall.
I'm sure I have.
Do any of you know who Tommy is?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's literally everyone. I think you don't even, if you don't know who Power Rangers are, like what it is, you know Tommy. Kind of a big deal, you guys.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, we're going to watch the episode. You can watch it too, if you so desire.
What episode is this, Matt?
It is episode number 17, Green with Evil, Part 1, Out of Control.
That's right.
Out of Control! Depending-
that.
Not that.
Not that.
Exactly.
Alright, I take that back.
Okay. We're going to go listen to... we're going to go watch the episode. You can watch it too, you know, the places, or you can buy it. Whatever.
We're professionals.
You guys have done this long enough.
You know the places.
It's early in the morning. Give us a break. We're going to go watch it. You can too, and we'll see you in a sec.
See you soon, guys. Welcome back. We just watched Green with Evil Part 1, Out of Control. I think we can all agree that it was out of control.
It was definitely... There was very little control. Not a lot of control going on.
Are we all as amped as we thought we would be?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is amped the word for it?
Well, amped would be the word I would use. What would you use, Amanda?
I feel lost and confused.
That's
Well,
another way of putting that.
So do the Power Rangers.
Yeah,
So
you're as out of control as the Power Rangers are right now.
I think we're on the journey with the Power Rangers, and we feel as lost and confused and without our giant head in the tube as they do.
There's that emotional connection.
Yeah, exactly right.
Alright, we go from the top.
Let's go for the top. I would like to say that opening intro, when you're actually excited for the episode instead of dreading it, works so much better. I was actually excited that time instead of like, oh god, here we go again.
I wanted to smother you with a pillow, Michael. I've never sat next to you during the intro, and you talk along with it the whole time.
Yeah, well, you know, I've seen it many times now.
Lauren, this is all we have in our lives.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I gotta remember that. That's why I didn't smother you with a pillow.
Gee, thanks.
You're very welcome.
Yay.
Smothering avoided.
So the episode opens with a martial arts competition, and within literally 5 seconds of the episode starting, we see better martial arts than we've seen in the entire show thus far.
Dude with some nunchucks.
Yeah, I think they were, nunchucks or like a screamer sticks or
Some
something.
sort of.
Something like that.
He's definitely doing some.
He's definitely Asian.
I think he sort of shows up again, he should be a Power Ranger. Why did they pick these kids?
Yeah, that guy was pretty insane. It was pretty
He
good.
was insane. And then we see
Tommy
for the first time, who introduces himself by doing 3 flying roundhouse kicks in a row.
just at the air, not at anyone in particular.
Yeah, which I think is pretty appropriate.
Hello, I'm Tommy.
Can I just
I think it
interrupt
sets the tone.
briefly to bring up something I've been carrying through like the whole way through? I redact that Trini and Zach because I think Trini's a bit of a flirt, just in general.
She spent a lot of time with
Touching
her hand
on Jason's chest. Yeah,
Did you? I didn't know
was
that.
rubbing his belly
She
for
was
love.
rubbing his yeah.
Oh, yeah, when she was
And
encouraging
his
him to go
pecs
for
and things.
I don't
was,
think she was rubbing
Good
him. I
lad.
think she was being
Jason
like...
is the Buddha. She's looking for some.
I don't think...
Trini's just a bit of a. I think her idea of keeping the team together is just being really nice and friendly to the guys in the group. So.
Super friendly.
Yeah, I'm not saying it goes further. I'm not saying it goes further than that. I think she's just a bit of a flirt. That's all. You can be a flirt and not be.
I don't know. If anyone's a flirt, I'd say Kimberly's a flirt.
Not with the people within the group. She's mean to the group.
I don't know.
She doesn't.
I don't know. I just feel like Trini's... She's just... I don't know. She's just nice.
She's very
Nice.
touchy-feely though. Look for it. Watch her. I do every episode.
Watch that sneaky
Okay.
bitch.
We've got 4 more episodes to go, so you'll have plenty of opportunity.
To watch Trini closely,
Yeah.
intensely.
So
So we get a fight between
Jason
Jason and Tommy at the martial arts competition, which again is a huge step up in the quality of martial arts.
Which
Yes.
is a
Was it
surprising statement because it's rubbish.
Yeah, well, sure, but like comparatively, and they're clearly not fighting each other. They're dramatically leaping out of the way of each other's strikes.
The fight begins with one rolls under the other who leaps high in the air. There's no combat there whatsoever.
How are points scored? Because I just had no idea what
points
was.
are scored when the judge thinks that it's a dramatic moment
Okay.
enough for... If it looks like if one of them had a knife, he could have killed him there. That's when you get a point.
That's how martial arts scoring actually works.
Yeah.
The fighting doesn't look like that, but that's how the scoring works.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
I
did you get him? Yeah, you got him. Start again.
Are there in the world just general martial arts tournaments? Like,
No.
it's not like
No.
a kung fu tournament. It's just, can you do some fighting?
There's
do some
prob-
I
fighting.
think
There's
you're talking about
probably not.
MMA.
yeah,
Mixed martial
That's
arts.
appropriate.
It is literally mixed martial arts, especially appropriate because Jason David Frank, who plays Tommy Oliver, went on to become an MMA fighter.
There we go.
Wow.
True fact.
Fun little fact.
Fun little fact. We're for them. This is why we do
As
this.
long as they're Power Rangers related.
That's right.
So, Rita's watching this fight, I guess because she's got nothing better to do.
Clearly.
And she goes straight to, that guy would make a great Green Ranger.
It's a little frustrating. We have 5 episodes to get through. You know, you can stretch this, but milk it a little bit. You don't need to go like, oh, he's a Green Ranger. You know, we can
But,
arrive at this conclusion organically.
Especially because he's wearing green.
Yeah.
Like,
She
That's what
doesn't-
tipped her off.
She doesn't say, like, I've had this plan for ages to create an evil Power Ranger. There's no... there's just literally her first
Yeah,
line is
Green Ranger.
Green Ranger.
Sick. Job done.
And of all the people in the world she could have chosen, like she had to confine it to...
What
Asian
about
folk.
the Asian guy from the start of the tournament?
The Japanese footage of the Green Ranger doesn't have nunchucks, so that's clearly not going to work, Tim. Don't be silly.
Yeah, it's strange that she looks at him and says straight away, "Oh, Green Ranger." It's like love at first sight, except it's like evil Rita playing at first
Here's
sight.
someone equally matched to the Red Ranger. That should be alright, I
That'll
guess.
make for some dramatic tension.
He's someone who can fight one of the Power Rangers to a draw.
Yeah!
Green Ranger!
Clearly, he is going to be the one to defeat all the Power Rangers. And that would seem silly, except it works.
A little bit, yeah.
So after the fight, we get a scene in the high school locker.
Before we get there, Kimberly wants the D.
Oh,
The D here stands for Dragon's
he's scheming for the D.
Yeah, she is super keen, but I think it's kind of in Kimberly's character. She doesn't want things in halves.
No.
She's that
Last
stereotypical teenage girl.
week, she became a punk and instantly wanted Skull.
Yeah.
So, now that she's not a punk,
she's got the hormones, her drive's in overdrive.
I don't really want to think about her hormones. That's creepy.
It's too bad.
We're going to talk for the rest of the episode. It's all about Kimberly's hormones.
But there was like nothing attractive about him.
Oh,
He's not that.
Can you
bad.
cast your mind back 10 years and pretend that was
Other
okay?
ladies of...
I mean, he actually reminds me a little bit of a guy I hooked up with in the past. So
How long ago in the past? Like, in the mid
it
90s?
was a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Jason David Frank, just to check.
Maybe if he had a time machine, it's possible.
Jason David Frank and you didn't tell us.
Or I didn't bring him to this podcast.
Yes,
That's it.
that-
Friendship over. He's okay. Well, Ash has drawn him, so that kind
I
of.
think he's got the most glorious mullet.
It's a pretty sick mullet. It's pretty beautiful.
Like for the 90s, I think that's the ultimate hair.
Yeah.
Like, he has the most typical 90s hair. So we get a scene by the lockers, and I sort of have this strange nostalgia for like high school romantic dramas, despite the fact that I never watched any. And I'm starting to think it's Power Rangers, because that was like the most heartbreak high scene, that awkward Kimberly.
Can I back up a little bit before that with
Yeah.
Bulk and Skull being oh so rapey?
Oh,
That's just it.
I know, but it's still jarring. Like, I still enjoy seeing it. Like, it concerns me every episode. They are so rapey.
When Bulk comes over, he's got in his hand what looks like an ice cream sandwich.
Like a wagon wheel
Like-
kind of deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
like
like,
wagon wheel.
but like
Yeah.
bigger in ice cream.
And has bitten it already. Has
He
taken
bites
a bite.
into it, and then when he realizes he has to engage with Kimberly, he puts it inside his jacket
In his pocket. I
Isn't
caught
that
that.
great?
Is that his
When
idea
you
of courting a
when
woman?
You store your snack foods. You can't be eating while you're chatting to a lady.
I like the
know
thought that it's lined with like that shiny silver plastic like ice cream wrapping, and that's his dedicated cookie pocket. And he's like, this is in
It's
here.
like refrigerated.
It's
He has like a
fine.
little cooling system.
You should go into clothes design.
Why don't I have clothes with ice cream
with cookie pockets,
It's amazing.
because you don't want to get like your fluff on it, like from your jacket or whatever. That's dumb.
And
So
you don't want it
line
to melt
specially.
into your jacket,
Exactly.
because that would be a bitch to get out of the
Alexander
pockets.
McQueen
You would have
as well.
yeah, you would have to hand wash that
Alexander
shit.
McCookies.
Oh dear. So, Bulk and Skull are all being creepy.
Yeah.
And then Tommy basically does some more kung fu with the air, and that scares Bulk and Skull off. Because, you know, if he was maybe a metre closer, they might have been punched in the face, and that's potentially
It was
threatening.
pretty menacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be scared.
I feel like everyone knew that kid in high school who did martial arts at the air, and no one was particularly scared of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think Tommy's that dude.
No, that's Tommy is the dude
He's
who
pretty
actually
scary.
does martial arts.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Not the dude who like is a yellow belt in karate.
Yeah, he's like, I know kung fu, and he's just like scissoring his hands in the air. Yeah, exactly. For those who can't see, Michael just did a lame karate
Although
hand
maybe
gesture.
Tommy is that dude, and Bulk and Skull just aren't terribly bright, and they're like, oh,
Well, I
this
think
scares
Bulk
me.
and Skull being not terribly bright is definitely supported by the text.
That's right. There's definitely some precedent for that. So what happens next? Does Tommy head out into the alley?
Kimberly invites Tommy to hang out with the other Rangers.
Yes, that's
now,
true.
how does she imagine that's going to go? Every time they hang out, they're called away by Zordon to go and fight a monster.
Is it every time? Are we assuming that like
Yeah.
each episode is every day, and every day this shit happens to them?
At least it happens once a week.
Yeah, but
Okay.
then they have 6 days of the
Yeah,
week where
they've
they
got-
can just chill out.
But
That's
what-
4 school days in which they get to just hang out at the youth
What
centre.
happens if he goes down, he hangs out, and then Zordon calls, and all 5 of them have to go, we're sorry, we have to go.
Our mums are
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, you just like kids have curfew. Just be like, oh, it's our curfew. It's 4 o'clock.
You're-
Our parents are super religious.
You're a major dork, and we don't want to hang out with you, so we're all leaving.
Michael, are you suggesting that the Power Rangers should not have socialized because they're Power Rangers? They should give up their
Basically,
lives?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now they sound like Spider-Man, and that's depressing.
Well, they could be like Spider-Man. Frankly, if they were more like Spider-Man, this would be a better television program.
Probably.
If they had any responsibility.
Hey, they go when duty calls, when they're summoned.
So yeah, then Tommy goes to the alley. But
Yes.
before that, we get Rita's lair,
Yes.
which is much darker this week.
It was really
I
with the
think it's
skull
a
and
tone thing.
Yeah.
Well, everything that Rita does in this episode is super creepy. Like you said, there's some actually legitimately weird and creepy witch shit going on.
It's
She's
not like
a witch.
Sphinxter put a monster out of the back
Exactly.
vacuum
She does a
thing.
spell, and it's not a rhyming couplet that was written in 30 seconds by an intern.
Yeah.
It's like, mo bo go,
I want to know, is that like nonsense? It clearly matches up with the
it's
lip
not.
syncing.
All it is the voice actor making sounds to match with the lip syncing. That's all it
Why
is.
would that bother them? They clearly
That's all
don't
the rest
care.
of the show is. I mean,
But it is super creepy. It does seem like it really jumped up a notch in menacingness.
she's got a skull with glowing eyes.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And when I say darker, I mean it is like it's literally darker.
Yeah. And there's like cobwebs and mist everywhere. Like,
Maybe it's been a while since last time.
And she hasn't been
she didn't
cleaning?
pay her utilities. she has no
She
lights.
has candles everywhere and no big lights.
Yeah.
on, so yeah.
Well, presumably she gets commission from like the evil Galactic Space Organization for Power Rangers killed. She's down on quota, can't pay the bills.
She's going to be down
she
quota
can't
for a
afford the
while.
cleaner. That's why all the cobwebs are building up.
That's right. And she's not going to do it herself. She's a witch. Like she's got other shit to do.
She's an empress,
She's
which is a
Empress Witch Rita Repulsa.
Yeah. What is she empress of?
The moon.
The
Moon, I guess.
That's pretty good.
Evil
That's-
witch thing.
It is
Yeah,
pretty
I'd
good.
be honest,
But
if I had to be Empress and Witch of the Moon, I'd go for that.
I do feel like though it's just for like a competition. I feel like if anyone else went out there and made a claim for it, she'd probably be like, too much effort.
Never
Let's go to
mind.
Mars.
You have it. I'll have something
I'll
else.
be Empress of, I don't know, does Pluto have a moon?
Okay, so we get a fight in the alley because apparently Rita wants to test Tommy despite the fact that she's clearly made her mind up.
At the start, she decided he will be a perfect Green Ranger.
She just wants to watch him in action. Let's face it. Like
Yeah,
she
she
really.
She
enjoys
also
that.
is keen for the D.
Yeah.
The line, prepare my crystal ball to receive him. If that's not a euphemism, I don't know what is. I've watched enough of this show.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
I'm impressed you all laughed because that means no one else caught it. It means I'm the only one who had that
I
thought.
did notice it.
So, Tommy fights some putties. He beats some putties.
With a trash can
Yep, he
lid.
goes
That's
all
clearly
Captain
made of
America.
tinfoil.
He
Yeah.
goes all Captain America. He throws it at a dude.
That was pretty.
That was a pretty good fight.
He was not freaked out enough though when the party's vanished. Like
Well,
he fits on really well in Angel Grove.
Yeah, you got to remember this is Angel Grove. Like this stuff happens literally once a week. People know parties. People know giant
Yeah.
monsters.
His reaction is, why me?
Yeah.
Not, oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
But-
Because it's not weird.
It would be like getting mugged. You're
Yeah.
not like, wow, it's weird that someone would hold me up and steal my things.
I still
You're
think
like,
you would be, even though you know of putties and maybe you've seen them around, but to see them actually disappear before your
I
very
think it
eyes,
would
surely
certainly
that would
be.
be startling.
Yeah.
I
Why
did-
me?
Maybe he's been attacked before because
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, why me? Like this happens to him all the time.
The show goes to great lengths to show us that it's Jason David Frank doing the whole fight.
Yes.
Like, we never get shots of him from behind or him, like, he's not wearing a mask or anything.
Mostly because they can't afford stunt people.
But also because they intentionally hired someone who was
Yeah.
very good at doing that sort of thing. And so they go out of their way to show it off.
I think they also go out of their way to make this dude that kids immediately
Yeah.
are like,
Yeah,
that
he
is
has
the
to be
coolest
awesome,
dude
yeah.
in the world. And we get that a bit more later, but like they're clearly setting him up as the top shit. And
He is the coolest dude in the world.
he is the coolest dude in the world,
Yeah.
and you're going to want to buy like 10 action figures.
Go find your mum and tell her that's the one.
Yeah. So then Rita takes him to the moon
Yep.
in her ball.
Do you think there's Rita
Like-
and Tommy fanfic?
Probably.
Michael, can you look
Did
this
you
up
come
for us?
across any when you were looking for Vulcan Skull?
No, but I used filtered. I would be very, very shocked if there isn't.
Yeah,
And maybe I'll look for it
thank
before
you.
next episode.
That would be good.
During the breaks.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad. Because it's... Believe me, if I find anything, you're going to know.
I just want Rita to find love.
Yeah.
Do you think she'd be nicer if she did?
Rita takes him to her fortress on the moon and lies him down
See,
on a,
that is a creepy scene.
on a table,
Yeah.
lights some candles.
It's more like
sets
a
the
bed.
mood.
But
That's
as we've
government
discussed earlier,
chanting.
that's not her shag pad. Her shag pad is that apartment in
apartment.
Angel Grove. So this is more serious
She's
for
taking him
her.
home.
She's taking him home to
other
meet the
monsters.
family. Yeah, this is a big deal.
He's not a one-night stand. He's not
No, definitely not.
This could be the one.
What would happen though if they broke up. Like, she's pretty pissed off as it is. Like, would she be worse, do you think?
She'd be particularly
I reckon
vindictive,
give
yeah.
it 4 episodes. And I think we'll get there. So,
Yeah, we'll find out. When he comes out of his little cocoon thing, the guy that stands up is very clearly not Tommy. Like,
Yes.
he's cast in shadow. That's not his
Yeah.
hair. He looks pretty Asian. It's not Tommy.
That would be because
He
he
is
is.
Asian.
And I've got some notes maybe for next episode about the original Japanese Green Ranger.
Yeah, I
so
know a bit about this.
We
but
might
we'll come
talk
to
about that
discuss.
next week.
Yeah.
Or a couple of weeks after. So she mind controls him with her mind control skull and mind control magic.
Pretty good. That's pretty good witchery
Yeah.
from her. Like,
For
For
her,
Rita.
yeah,
considering that her powers thus far have just been making monsters grow.
which is pretty good.
It's cool,
but
it's kind
you
of
know,
like one
listen,
thing.
you did it last time.
Yeah.
How
Get
did she
over
get
it.
And all of
how
the
did
other times.
how did she get the power coin?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's an excellent question. Why can Rita make Power Rangers?
And why hasn't
Well,
she done it before?
She can make one. I think Zordon says to Tommy later on, "You're who she picked."
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it sounds like she had one
So
shot.
she had a coin.
But yes, how
Coin
did she get that
somehow.
coin is my issue. Like, I understand, like, obviously she had one
She had
coin,
one, yeah.
shot.
Maybe
Like,
it was in the chest with the power eggs. Morphin eggs?
Maybe.
Morphing
I
masters.
mean, like, we know Rita and Zordon have a history.
Yes.
We know that they used to fight. We know from last episode that Michael and I watched that Zordon used to be a kick-ass ninja wizard.
yeah.
so what you think?
From another dimension, because when, like, skipping forward a little bit, but he says that I've lost power to your dimension.
Well, he's stuck in his
He's
time warp.
trapped,
It's okay.
And-
That
and
makes-
that's why he's ahead in. That's why he's ahead in.
It's like you haven't been paying attention at all to this nonsense show. So yeah, I think she obtained the coin somehow,
in a long time ago.
Okay.
took it with her. To
I'm curious. I'd like to.
Just had
I
it in
want
her cookie
backstory.
pocket.
I think it's incredible restraint for Rita Repulsa that she went
Yeah.
17 episodes before busting this thing out.
And blew it on someone who becomes a villain to her.
Could you imagine if, like, she did it on Bulk or Skull? Like, that would be good.
That'd be awesome.
So because Tommy has a power coin, he can enter the command center undetected.
Yeah.
Well, you think Zordon, knowing this was the case, would put up some, like, he had to have known this was coming one day.
Well, she knows he knows she had the power coin.
I don't understand
so
why
why-
he wouldn't just be notified every time anyone went there. And if he's like, yeah, no, the Rangers are there, I know, it's fine. And he just, like, closed that window on his computer. But the one time it became a problem, and it was a serious problem, he could be like, whoa, shit,
They're
man.
giving him antivirus pop-ups. Like, 5 Rangers have entered the command center. He's like, I know. So he just got out to uninstall the program. And that's what happens. You get
See, you
viruses.
get complacent.
And the Green Ranger sneaks into Command Center.
So
It's a
the
problem.
Green Ranger gets behind Alpha 5
Yeah,
and
because he's
puts
a ninja.
a CD into his
A
back.
super evil CD, you guys. Like the worst CD.
And
It's probably a Nickelback CD.
I want to point out that he puts...
I do Alpha 5 hand gestures as I do a Nickelback voice. It made more sense if you were here.
He puts this CD in his back, and then pulls a cable out of like his armpit socket. Do you want to do a virus or do you want to destroy him? Pick one and do one.
You know, multitask. Why do one when you can do both, right there?
She didn't really do. Well, he didn't really do either well, though.
Well, that's true. Like, Alpha 5 was disabled. Rather than, like, disrupting him for a little while, couldn't he just, like, snap his little robot neck or something?
Whoa! Can you imagine? He goes, no, can you imagine? He goes and he spins the head around because Alpha's head is perfectly symmetrical. It just spins. It just keeps spinning. He doesn't, like, there's no neck to
No, see, I like the thought that he goes one, it spins like 180, and he's done it from in front of him, so he's now no longer facing Tommy, and then he just turns back around, Exodus style, like I am gonna fuck you up.
And then we get Alpha 5.
Alpha 5 beats the shit out of Tommy,
That would have been an awesome conclusion to that episode.
and the turnaround back again with the head would be like a robot sound effect, like really
It's
slow.
like fighting a Terminator.
Yeah,
That's not what happens. What happens?
unfortunately.
What happens is Alpha 5 just goes and stands in a corner.
Which is what he does a lot, to be fair.
So then,
Can I? Sorry, before we continue, can I say that before this, Zordon says that before the Green Ranger shows up at the base, Zordon says that he's going to go into a meditative state and
The
then
Odin sleep, I
Alpha...
believe it's called.
What?
The Odin sleep.
And Alpha 5 should take this opportunity to recharge. So he's basically saying, I'm going to be offline, you should take this opportunity to be
Should
offline
also
as
be
well.
offline.
I'm going to go have a nap.
That's not how shifts work.
I'm gonna have a nap. So now that you're the only person protecting the home of the Power Rangers, maybe just go have
You
a sleep
too.
as well.
Is that like when mothers with newborn children, it's sort of like the rule that if your baby is sleeping, you should be sleeping as well? Like Alpha is in charge of Zordon.
I would imagine it was the other way around.
Yeah, well.
But so Tommy comes and he does a bit of speeching at Zordon about how he's going to.
He does a lot of toasting. He's like, to the death of the Power Rangers! To Rita Repulsor! Raise your glass.
Basically, what he does is he grabs the panels at the command center,
Yanks a
and
bunch of
just
stuff out.
yanks some cables out, which, to be fair, would destroy stuff. I
Yeah.
do think someone needs to have a chat to Alpha 5 about cable management.
Yeah.
Because the
Well,
deal back there...
those were all behind panels. I think someone needs to talk to him about bolting the panels down. He just went, ooh! Like, hinged them out.
Cable management is important in the construction of computers. You want to have your cables neat.
It's
and
a fire
short as
hazard.
Possible. Yeah, if they cross, they can...
You know he's got double adapters, like, stacked up somewhere.
He's got a power board plugged into a power board. Because, it needs a lot of electricity to power a time warp to a tube.
Who's paying their bills?
Yeah.
It's morphing grid energy.
Yeah.
He runs off the morphing grid, not the electricity grid.
Yeah, Amanda.
I don't think that's even a question, Amanda. God.
So when I think with Tommy in particular, his pants are just way too tight. He has victory boners all the way through. These
Yes, what, sorry?
victory boners, like he's clearly
Not bonus, not an addition.
Sweet, victory bonus. 10 points.
no
Explain
a
to me what
boner.
Like, explain to me what a victory boner is.
Well, Matt, you understand what an erection is, right?
Yes.
I feel like
You know
I don't
when-
want to have to be the dude who gives you this.
I thought it was like a term, like victory boner was the thing kids are saying. Is that-
I just made it a term if it's not one, but yeah, like
Okay.
he's standing there, like yeah, that's
She's
right.
saying that he was so happy that he beat the Power Rangers that
He
got
popped a
erect.
boner, but it's noticeable because his pants are way too tight.
Or
It's
just high enough.
it's part of his attractiveness. What you have to understand is that to sell toys to kids, you need to get the kids and the mums on board. That's how that works. That's a really understood formula.
That's marketing 101.
Frankly, if he doesn't take his shirt off once in the next 4 episodes,
I'll be surprised. Yeah.
He does spend a lot of time in his singlet. That's kind of tight fitting. Both him and Jason. Yeah. Alright, so there's the command center destruction,
Yep.
and then rather than doing more than a few panels of the damage, he pisses off again, saying, "My worker is done." Evil
He
laugh.
should have just set the whole thing on fire.
Well, I think he could have been a lot more comprehensive than he
Just blow
was.
that shit up.
But he works for Rita,
Yeah.
I think.
Is mind controlled to be incompetent?
A half-assed job is what we do here.
He's got to fit in with the corporate culture
Yeah.
at Rita Corp.
Yeah, it bothered me that that's how she decided to employ this Green Ranger. If you're going to turn Tommy into the Green Ranger, if you're going to pick him, he's already kind of integrating himself into the Power Rangers' lives. So you can just put him in as a mole. He could maybe become, I
You've
don't know, their
already
friend.
put more thought into defeating the Power Rangers than Rita Repulsor ever did.
I totally agree with you.
She's been doing it for 17 weeks so far.
Like he could have been like, yeah, let's have a sleepover and like suffocated them
Yeah.
with pillows.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
No,
Just
Not like a
men.
sexy sleepover.
Kimberly would have gone for it.
Oh,
yeah. No, maybe with the guys.
That wouldn't have
first.
worked because the
Maybe-
two girls would have been all over him and he wouldn't have been able to sneak out
Yeah.
and slit their throats kind of thing.
Like a study session with Trini, like a I don't know, a date with Kimberly, just one by one, sparring with
just
Jason.
dropping off. Yeah.
I feel like after 2 or 3 of them were dead, the rest of them might stop hanging out to do.
No,
Yeah,
would
that
they?
sure is weird.
Would they clue on that it was him though? They might think, oh, we have to protect our new friend.
If he got rid of Billy and Trini first, the other 3 would have no.
Would
Yeah.
notice, yeah.
If he did Jason last, that dude would. It sure is weird that after you hung out with all my friends, they all died.
I don't
And-
think
and-
he would even have noticed that they died. He would have been like, well, I haven't seen them in 3 weeks now. It's
And then
really
Tommy's
weird.
like, we went to their funeral. Do you not remember that?
Do you think that Jason's the sort of leader that he's always literally leading? He never notices that people aren't behind him anymore.
Yeah.
He'd be like, let's go Power Rangers and go and fight. And he just assume that
He
they're fighting
does a
around
fight
him.
with
And he's like talking, he's back at the youth centre, he's like, hey, wasn't that a good fight, guys? And there's like no one there.
Circle formation, and he's just.
And he does it.
Oh dear.
Oh.
The putties just leave out of pity because it's really sad.
This week, the triumphant return
Turn
of
of the Rad Bug!
Um,
I was really concerned that we wouldn't get more Radbug, that we'd pass the Radbug era, but it comes back to infiltrate important episodes of the show somehow.
I feel like there was a bit of shit talking in earlier episodes about how, why do they need the rad bug? They can teleport. That's why.
Yeah.
Good thing they had it.
They showed us. I think that we are
They
being
sure
put,
did.
put in our place by the Power Rangers writing staff.
For the first and only time.
That was it. That was the time.
Although later on, and I'm skipping forward here, later on they can teleport and nothing's been fixed, so I don't know what's
now,
on.
Alpha's back online.
Oh, Alpha's...
Ish.
Ish.
So what? He's the one who controls the teleport.
Yeah.
Not
Sure.
Traditionally.
Okay.
Sure, why not? That makes as much sense as any other answer.
So they fly the Radbug to the command center. We get some more fantastic CGI and the cast going, whoa, and leaning to the side, which is some straight up Star Trek 1960s idea of what special effects are. They get into the command center, and apparently Alpha's mind has been wiped. Oh, I'd like to say that...
Memory.
Yeah, memory, sorry. Alpha's sort of broken Help Power Rangers things around. It's legitimately sad.
Yeah, it's like, it's scary
Yeah.
too that someone has done this to Alpha 5.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the first time I've had a moment of like, oh, bad things are happening on the show and legitimately feel it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I guess Alpha 5 is the
A bit
only
close to
character.
home kind
Yeah,
of thing,
the only one I actually care
he's
about
like,
in the
he's
show.
like the plucky comic mascot. So if something's ruining him,
Yeah, if he's having a bad day, then shit's actually bad.
stuff's going down.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a tone shift for the show, really.
Absolutely.
I think this whole episode is with
Yeah.
the darkness and
Yeah,
all
it's
this.
I can only imagine being like a 6 or 7 year old and watching this instead of I Guy.
yeah.
And like,
Shit, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I think I need to buy those toys.
Yeah.
I Guy was the monster who was covered in eyes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like a separate TV show
No.
or something. And I was
No, not you sit down and instead of I Guy being on TV, Power Rangers.
What is this weird episode of Power Rangers?
So they go to the command center. They find that Goldar has been made big and is trashing stuff because Goldar's the guy you go to when you want someone to not actually do anything for an episode. And so they go out.
They get the Megazord.
Not before they fight some putties for some reason.
Because the episode was only 20 minutes long so far.
they were flushing it out.
Yeah. They summon the Megazord and start fighting Goldar.
Yep.
Who promptly disappears.
He probably disappears as he does. They call the Power Sword a bit before that. Does anyone know where the Power Sword lives?
In space.
In space.
In space?
Yeah, it's in space.
Clearly it comes from
Oh,
space.
it comes
we
down,
discussed
see-
this before.
I had this view that like it lives up in the clouds and just sort of cruising around all the time.
I like the thought that it's in geosynchronous orbit with like Angel Grove, so it's just like chilling.
That's
up
really
there.
cool.
Wait, are you telling me in Angel Grove there's a giant sword hanging from the sky constantly?
Not like in the sky, like hey, there it is, like up in space.
But it's,
On like you know those like proposed super weapons that would drop like
Yes,
giant tungsten poles. It's
Yeah.
like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Listen, it's cool, all right. It's the Mega Sword.
Wow, okay, we need to write this shit down for when Michael and I do the Power Rangers movie.
So Goldar disappears. Tommy does the most incredible thing we've ever seen on this.
oh my god, that was so cool.
I want to make the joke I thought of that it is not the kind of backdoor shenanigans Kim or Trini were expecting from Tommy.
That's it. I'm ending the podcast here. No, Tommy jumps from the ground to the top
Now
of the Megazord.
that's quite a leap.
Yeah, but we know the Power Rangers are capable of that.
Because they
That's
do it every
that's
day.
higher than we've ever seen anyone jump, isn't
Kimberly
it?
manages to get into her bird one.
She
somehow.
jumps.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all jump.
they all
They all
jump.
jump.
They can really
It's
jump.
amazing. They can leap tall
They're a
buildings in
bunch
a
of
single bound.
jumpers.
Big on the jumping.
Okay, cool. All right, so he's not special in that regard.
No. And then he literally just opens the door.
Well, he lands on the head
Again,
of the Megazord.
do they not lock these things?
Well, why
Like,
would they? There's-
In fairness, although every like aircraft and vehicle has a door that like locks,
From the
I would think locked from the outside would probably
no,
be
locked
sense-
from the inside.
No, locked so that you can get out, but not
Yes,
in.
exactly. Like a appliance.
Like a door.
A door.
If the power coin lets him into the command center, there's no reason to think that it doesn't let him into the Megazord
That's
as well.
That's true.
So he busts the back door down in the Megazord,
Now-
beats the shit out of everyone.
That's so cool.
Well,
Punches like Trini right in the face.
Yeah.
the 5 of us, the 6 of us are sitting around a table. The control section of the Megazord would be smaller than the table we're currently on. There's not a lot of room for them to move.
Yeah.
Maybe the same size.
They're basically all just sitting in a row.
Yeah.
And he basically just king hits one of them in the back of the head. The other guys turn around, but they're on chairs, so what are they going to do? He bashes them. They all go flying out.
There's a lot of sparks in true Power Rangers form.
We not that's been established yet, but we do find out that when the Megazord is sufficiently beat up, the Power Rangers get dramatically ejected from the Megazord.
Yes.
So for some reason, whenever shit goes down the Megazord that's bad, they get propelled out.
Presumably whatever's powering it is some sort of horrific nuclear device. And it's just purely because if it starts to destroy, you need to be as far away as possible.
Hang on. The Megazord is a Jaeger, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that we are watching the bad version of Pacific Rim every week. Can we just forget this podcast? Let's just watch Pacific Rim once a week.
That would be nice, but that's not what we're doing. So
You'd get into interesting discussions like after like 20 times. Because you'd be picking at stuff.
So this backdoor scene, it's what we're talking about before. You guys, we're talking about before about how he's constructed to be the biggest badass in the world. And that scene, I think, like, props to the writers, sells it so hard that this is like the coolest dude you've ever met. Not in a good way because he's beating the shit out of people. He's bad.
Yeah, but the bad guy is always cool. Let's
He's always
face
cool.
it. Like, that's writing
He
one
is the Loki of 1996.
That's exactly
Were
right.
these aired once a day or once a week?
I will look it up to find out how long kids had to wait for the next episode.
Because I'm wondering, like, was he a bad guy in a kid's mind for like a month, or was he a bad guy for a week?
My understanding is the show was airing once a week.
For like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Weekdays.
So this whole thing would have been a week of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I'll find out if you guys keep talking.
So no one knew about him on Sunday, and by Saturday they could buy toys.
Probably, yeah.
Awesome.
And if that wasn't the case, then they lost some money. That was a big mistake on their part.
You're aware of how much money Power Rangers made in 1995?
I know, I'm just
Hey,
saying they
enough
could
to
be
keep
more.
going.
For 20 years.
Is it $70 roughly?
These
No,
episodes...
it was incredibly successful.
Really?
They had a stadium tour.
Whoa!
They
that's
made a
ridiculous.
big budget movie not too long after this.
Jesus.
It was
This
That's
made
pretty
just-
impressive.
Look, there's 150 episodes of just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This show made phenomenal amounts of money.
Wow.
Do you remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Of course.
This was a phenomenon on par with that.
Oh, wow.
To
Okay,
the
I
point
didn't know
where
that.
6 years from now we will get a crossover episode, which is the most amazing thing
it's
that you have
incredible.
ever seen.
I have not seen it. That's so
DVD.
cool.
It's
Cool.
pretty rad.
Okay, cool. That's pretty cool.
These episodes aired Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
That's a nice, like, 1 week arc sort of turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, hey, who's Tommy? Oh, he's evil. Nice, great.
A lot of this is surprisingly well done.
Yeah.
Considering the caliber of stuff we've seen previous to this.
This is a very good
It's very
episode.
clear that more effort has gone into this.
Yeah.
I also feel like having longer than 20 minutes
Yeah,
to
having the
play
time
with
to
is
tell the
helping,
story.
Yeah.
because
They don't have to hit all of those points.
yes, if the next 5 episodes had to be one episode,
Yeah.
this would have been the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got distracted out of it, which is good.
Yeah.
They didn't rush through it. There was still like, there's Tommy, Power Coin, Power Ranger.
He's a Green
He's
Ranger.
he's already beaten the Power Rangers once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if there's not, like, a fight each time, that's a balls
We're going to
episode.
see many more fights.
Yeah.
So they get ejected from the Megazord, and then he proceeds to go down, and we see some Green Ranger on the entire team action,
Yep.
which is awesome. We also, I thought we wouldn't get to this until a bit later, but we do get to see in this very first episode the difference between the American Green Ranger costume and the Japanese one. Because the American one is the one in the command center with the floppy gold armor piece
Yeah.
that looks fucking awful. And then we see during the fight, the Japanese one has that awesome, like, solid metal one.
Yeah,
and the
that's
costume
okay.
just looks amazing.
Right then, Matt?
It's a cool costume.
On par with overalls for Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing about it, someone in overalls and that metal thing,
And that metal plate. And nothing
we're all
else.
wearing that. If you haven't seen the Green Ranger, you're not listening to this podcast. But he's in a Power Rangers costume, but kind of there's a metal triangle poncho,
Like a breastplate
device
type.
Yeah.
that covers his shoulders and the front of his chest. And that's the only addition to the costume that makes it not a regular one.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
It's a pretty good
solid
one.
improvement.
Yeah, it's awesome. And during this fight, which is awesome, the Green Ranger somehow does a Shoryuken, which
Yeah.
I don't think
He has some sort of
Dragon Ball type energy projection
Yeah.
thing going on,
Yeah.
which the other Power Rangers don't seem to be able to do.
Maybe
Once
they
again,
can, and Zordon
he's
just
so
never-
much more awesome than the
Zordon
other
just
guys.
never told them. One
Yeah,
of their many abilities that Zordon was going to be like,
He's like, oh,
hey, would this be useful?
Would this be useful this week? Nah, I'll leave it. It's fine. Whatever.
I don't want to overwhelm them.
but it's really interesting because we had this awesome fight. Tommy seems like he has the upper hand, and then it stops. We don't see how they
No,
lost.
not particularly.
Well, he
they-
kind of blew them up a little bit.
Okay, and then he left.
And then they teleported away.
Yeah, I think they teleported away.
They
Okay.
Rather
I
than
think.
die.
They fled.
They fled the battle.
This guy's gonna kick the living shit out of us. We need to peace out right now.
We need to-
Even with their team of 5 Pokemon, his team of 1 Pokemon was too strong, so they ran away.
He had a shiny.
Well, it would definitely be Dragon type, I think.
Yeah.
Or a Mewtwo or something, like a legendary.
It's got weird.
Oh yeah, that's what
Pokemon, ew. That's weird.
So
What are we,
go back,
nerds?
they go back to the command center, and they have a quick discussion about how they are thoroughly fucked.
Yep. I don't know what's going to happen.
And it's a pretty down.
Zordon's still missing in time.
And they acknowledge they have to do it without Zordon as
Yeah,
well.
Alpha
To
5
be
is
honest,
really out of
Zach
action.
looks crushed. Did you guys see?
Yes.
He was
Surprisingly
like
good acting.
on the edge of tears. He was like shitting bricks at the thought of not having Zordon's guidance.
Whereas Jason is just so like, yeah, we
Well,
got
it's
this.
Jason, right?
I got this.
Zach,
He's too stupid to be scared about anything.
Zach looked like a small child whose parents had just left him.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
That's basically what he is.
Yeah, so it's a pretty dramatic and down note to end the
It's
episode.
exciting to see a cliffhanger
Yeah,
because this is our first multi-part episode.
it is.
We also the title is because I'm two-pronged. We have the out of control. We have a control room completely damaged, so the Power Rangers no longer have control, and Tommy has no control over his own actions.
He's
So
in mind control.
it's two-pronged.
There's so little control.
Yeah, there is
There's
literally
zero
no
control.
control at this point.
Imagine all the control. There's none of that.
Does
They
anyone
are
have
fresh out of.
final notes on the episode they want to get out before we continue?
Just when they were fighting the monster that grew, who has a name, and I can't.
Golda.
Yeah, Golda. When they were fighting him and he suddenly disappeared, why did he just disappear?
That's
That's
what
Golda's
it's-
whole deal.
Do you know Transformers? How Starscream just pisses off? He's basically Starscream. There is no reason for him to leave. He might even have the upper hand.
Yeah,
he just
awesome
leaves.
second in command who, when
In
things
this
are good,
context,
pieces out.
It
Yeah.
makes sense because
It's clearly part of the plan.
he's
Yeah.
trying to get them to summon the Megazord so Tommy can go in the back door. Jesus Christ, guys. And then he leaves because his part is done, and why would you fight if Rita's other new boyfriend could do it for you?
And it does sound like the only reason to summon the Megazord was that so Tommy could have that awesome ass
Yeah.
entrance. Like even in
Wait,
universe,
sorry, that awesome ass entrance.
you're as bad as the rest of them, Michael.
Listen, some of the episodes in the past with like the volcano and Bulk Skull and the goo shooting, that wasn't us. I think this time was us. I'm going to take responsibility for everyone and say I started it with the backdoor shenanigans joke. This one's on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a blanket apology for everyone, I think. All right, I think we should move on. So you have 4 more of these, and like Jason said, we've only made it through round 1 of what is going to be a major battle for us to get through this.
Yeah. So we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for listening. We've been all of us. You know where we are on the interwebs and such.
We'll be back next week.
Next week.
With the next part of this dramatic saga.
Dream with Evil Part 2.
Yes. We'll see you then. Thank you very much for joining us.